In today's video, I'm going to show you how to take apart your Jura espresso machine in order to access the grinder burrs so that you can either clean them or so that you can replace them. Now this machine I bought used and it was supposed to only have 400 cups on it. It actually has about 4,000 I found out now. And they recommend that you change the burrs every 7 to 10,000. And of course that depends a lot on the type of beans that you're using. I'm just going to replace them now. They're not that expensive. I got these ones from Amazon. They're called Brewvana. And I'll put a link in the description box down below. Now you see everything is taken apart. And what I've noticed with my older burrs is that there's a fair amount of gap or space in between the lower and the upper burr. And on the new ones, there's a bit less space. So I'm hoping for a finer grind, for a more intense, more flavorful coffee after I replace these grinder burrs. And as you see, the machine is all apart now, but I'm going to put it back together and show you step by step how to remove the panels, how to access the grinder, how to access the grinder carrier as you see here, because it's not all that intuitive. And then again, how to change this and put it back together. There is really just one special tool that you're going to need for this, and that is a little oval bit. It looks to me just about like a circle, but it is just a very slight oval that you'll need. You can find this also on Amazon and order that guy up, and then you can remove the panels on a Jura, on a Krups, and I think on some other espresso machines. So that is the special tool. Otherwise, everything else you should have at home. Now, before I go any further with this tutorial, I have to mention a couple of disclaimers. Number one, just like with anything else, make sure that your unit is unplugged. Make sure that it's cooled down, that there's no heat or pressure in the machine. Number two, you're doing this at your own risk, okay? So you're responsible for the function of your machine as well as your own safety. And number three, something to mention, is that this may void your warranty. But if you're changing your burrs, you know, it's probably past warranty anyway. Now I'm doing this, by the way, on the Jura E8. I believe that the E6 is just the same procedure. And I would think that a lot of what I'm going to show you here does apply to other Jura models as well. And one last thing before I get started, if you're gaining any value from this video at all, please do me two favors. Number one, give the video a like. And number two, consider subscribing to this video. That way I know to make more of these in the future. Now, what we have to do in order to get to the grinder is remove the right panel, the left panel, and the top panel. But first, to gain better access, we just got to remove any parts that are removable anyway. So the drip tray, the water tank, the grounds chute, and now we can get started. We have two oval screws in the back that we need to get to. All right, now that we got those two oval screws removed, we can put those in a little container. That's where I'm going to collect all my screws, is right here. And we can move to a Torx T15 bit for the rest. So the right panel has got a silver screw in the front. So with that silver screw removed in the front, with the oval screw removed in the back, now this panel here on the right can slide. So we're just going to slide that back, see that back, and up off a little bit. Just like that. Now be careful because there is still the power switch holding on here, and the power switch is on a module that needs to be shifted out. So move it inwards just towards the inside of the machine. Just like so. Okay, so now we've already got the right panel off. Now, in order to remove the left panel, we've got two screws to take care of. Let's do that next. Okay, so we've got this T15 screw in the front. And then we got one here underneath this Jura Bluetooth module. Excellent. Okay, so now the left side can be removed as well. You just have to lift this guy kind of up and then out. Oops, up, like that, and out. Excellent. Now we just have 3 screws to remove on the top, to remove the top, and then we'll already have access to the grinder. So, gonna remove the T15 in the front here. And one here by the bean hopper. And then one right here by the flap. Okay. And now we can gently lift the top off just like so. All right. Now we got our machine all naked and we can take a look at the grinder. All right, so now we've got the grinder area exposed here, and there's a couple things that I want to point out to you. Number one is I've marked the spot here where this grind adjustment gear meshes with the rod here. So this rod is what you use to adjust the grind from up above when the machine is put together. And I want to know where to put that later, so I've marked that with a Sharpie. Now I can remove that guy. Another thing that I want to point out is that there's this white dash here. So this is already here. This marks this inner burr carrier with this outer adjustment dial so that you know where to put it back later. And in order to remove this outer burr, all you have to do is turn the grind adjustment dial counterclockwise. And now all the way to the end, and now you'll see that it's free. So these 3 tabs here, these were within threads here. So when they're within the thread, you can't remove it. But if you unscrew it, or if you move it counterclockwise all the way, then you can remove this guy just like so. And at this point, you could take your vacuum cleaner and you can clean out the burr, this outer burr. You could clean this whole area here. It's normally a little dirty, but I already did that. So now, at this point, let's see how to remove the burrs so that we can put in new ones. So first things first, we need to get this little guy off of here. This is just a little cap that's covering a screw. And next, we need to unscrew this here. All right. So what comes out is this whole carrier here. So it's a long screw. It is this top kind of like propeller thing. And then it's the burr itself on a carrier. And the carrier is keyed, and that fits down into the bottom right there in those slots as well. And now would be a good opportunity to take a pipe cleaner and run it through the chute here, or something like a Q-tip, something like that, and clean that out real good. All right, anyway, that's the old burr right there. That's the old outer burr. This is the old inner burr. We're gonna switch them out for the new ones. So like I said, I got this here from Brewvana. Comes in the case like this. Just remove these 2 guys. Now for the inner burr, it's pretty easy. Just remove that guy just like so and put the new one on. Very, very easy. As for the outer burr, that one's a little more difficult. First, you have to remove this ring here, and there is a little break in the ring so that you can remove it just like so. Okay. Then you need to take a screwdriver and you have to get these tabs pressed inwards. So that is holding, it's a plastic part that's holding the burr in place partially. So we're going to remove this plastic part right there. Okay, just like so. But the burr is still being held in there by this hook essentially and by this hook. So what you're going to have to do is pry and pull the burr up at the same time. Okay. So I just got to remove like that. That's the old one. I'm gonna put the new one in. So this is the new one, and I should probably clean this out too. All right, so this is my brand new burr. I'm just going to stick it in there. And again, it is keyed. It's got these flat parts on the top and the bottom. And we're just gonna slide it in underneath the one nose. And these noses or these hooks, they're quite stiff. But what you can do is kind of pry. You can pry from behind a little bit to get them, there you go, to snap into place. And all right, there we go. Now we just have to put this collar on top. So these hooks have to go right there and right there. Just get them to line up just like that. All right, and now those are in place. We're gonna put the ring back on there. All right, good to go. So we're gonna put the inner burr in and move it until it clicks into place. Then we gotta put on this little propeller. It's also a spacer, and move that until it stops, just like so. Then put in the long screw and screw that sucker in. Okay. Then we're gonna put on the cap. And now we can slide this on there, match up the white to the white, and we can click it into place like that. Excellent. Finally, we're gonna put this grind adjustment in, and you see that, oops, you see that this black line matches up with this black line, and now we're good to go. We can put this guy back together. Let's just make sure that it turns, and yes, it does. Okay, time to put it back together. Oh, but not before putting this guy back on. Of course, I nearly forgot that guy. All right, time to put it back together. Alrighty, so now putting the rest of this together is just a reverse process. There are a couple things to keep in mind though. When you put this top part on, I mean, it more or less slides into place, but you do have to be careful of this connecting rod. It's got to match up here with your grind adjustment. So that grind adjustment has got to line up here with that rod inside. And yep, looks like it does. And you should just make sure that it's working properly. And it is. Everything is engaged. Excellent. Now we can just put the screws back in. Put this guy in right here. You don't want to put much torque on these, of course. You know, be a little bit careful. It's just plastic that you're screwing into. And this guy here in the back. Then we got this guy here by the beans area, by the beans hopper. Okay. And now we can go ahead and put the side on. I'm going to put the left side on. And this does require just a little finesse because this tab has to fit just underneath this hole here. And we also have to get this water source to kind of flip in under this hole. You can see that there's a slot for that to fit in. So I'm just going to kind of slide it on like this. And then the last part is you got to go downwards. So now you can see that this water receptacle is where it's supposed to be, as well as here the Bluetooth. So put the screw in by the Bluetooth there. Put it here by the front lid. Excellent. Now we gotta do the reverse process, and we have to turn this. We've got to turn this switch into its holder just the opposite way as before, and I just did. And then this slides in forwards, just like that. So, okay, I got it in there. Now we're going to put this front silver screw in. And now we'll switch to the oval bit holder, and we're gonna put our last 2 screws in the back. Very nice. Finally, this top cover slid off, so we gotta get that back on. Put the Bluetooth back in. And now, all we gotta do is put the stuff back in where it belongs. So, water tank. Bean hopper cover. Chute. And finally, drip tray. Okay. Alrighty, and here's the moment of truth. We're gonna go ahead and put some beans in there. I already filled it up with water. I've got it set on the finest setting, so let's just see what comes out. I think that's actually too fine now. I'm gonna have to open that sucker up a couple clicks. I'm gonna hit the button and change at the same time. And try it one more time. One more click. Okay. So, as it turns out, the Burrs made a big difference. Before, I had my grind set as fine as could go, and the water would just run through the pucks real quick. And in this case, I was actually able to just about stall the machine on the finest setting. I had to open it up to just coarser than halfway. And I do taste a difference there too. It's definitely got more intensity, more depth of flavor, whereas before it was really a little on the watery side. So let's just see, what does the puck look like now? Oh yeah, that's way finer. So that's just part of a puck there, but this puck is much finer than what I was getting before. Alright guys, I hope that this video is helpful for you, and until next time, I say happy coffee drinking, happy espresso drinking. Bye now.